Welcome to JCE eConnect. Hello friends, in this video I will explain how to solve the problems on one-dimensional bar elements. The problem statement is find the nodal displacements, stresses and reactions for the structure as shown below. The diagram of bar element is shown here. It is a stepped bar. There are three different elements having different cross-sectional area, having different material properties. You can see that at extreme left side it is fixed and at extreme right side also it is fixed. And at two places the loads are acting. It means forces are acting. One is 20 kilonewton force, another is 10 kilonewton force. And they have given the cross-sectional area A for all the elements, and they have given the Young's modulus E value also, and length of the elements also. Length of the element 80 millimeters, 90 millimeters, 70 millimeters, like this. First step. In the first step, we have to draw FEA model diagram. It contains drawing the line diagram of the bar element and giving the nodes and numbering the nodes, that is node numbering, and also writing the force values at each node. See here I have drawn the line diagram and I have started the numbering from extreme left side. Extreme left hand I have taken as node number 1, and the point where the load of 20 kilonewton is acting, that I have taken as node number 2. Similarly, the point where 10 kilonewton is acting, that I have taken as node number 3, and extreme right side, that one I have taken as node number 4. And there are three elements I have represented as E1, E2, E3. For E1 the nodes are 1 and 2. For E2 nodes are 2 and 3. For E3 nodes are 3 and 4. And Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4 are the displacements at node number 1, node 2, node 3 and node 4 respectively. F1 is the force acting at node 1. Since there is no force acting at the extreme left side, that is at node number 1, so F1 value we have to take as 0. At node 2, a force of 20 kilonewton is acting, that is acting towards right side. Here I have assumed right side direction is positive direction, so that value I will take it as positive, that is F2 is 20 kilonewton. And at node 3 a load of 10 kilonewton is acting, that is towards right side, hence F3 is 10 kilonewton. And at extreme right side F4 there is no force is acting, so F4 I will take it as 0. Next step, finding the elemental stiffness matrix. First I will find the elemental stiffness matrix for element number 1, that is K1 equal to A1 E1 upon L1 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, where K or K1 is the stiffness matrix, A cross sectional area, E Young's modulus, L is length of the element. Substitute all the values. A, E and L all are given in the diagram. You can see there. E 70 gigapascal for element number 1. Cross sectional area A equal to 900 millimeter square, and length of the element is 80 millimeters. All the values are given. Substitute here and calculate that part A E upon L. That value we are getting as 7.87 into 10 to the power of 5. So I want to make calculation part easy. So what I will do, 7.875, that value I will multiply inside the matrix. Only 10 to the power of 5, that part I will write outside the matrix itself. Now whatever the value which we are taking as common, that is outside, that has to be same for remaining stiffness matrices also. That will help us while finding the global stiffness matrix. that is while adding the all stiffness matrices. So that becomes as 10 to the power of 5, 7.875 minus 7.875 minus 7.875 and 7.875. This is K1. Here we can observe that with a red pen I have written there column numbers and row numbers as 1, 2. Why particularly that value as 1 and 2 only? That number as 1 and 2. That we will come to know looking at the line diagram. See, for element number 1, nodes are 1 and 2. That's why for element number 1, stiffness matrix K1, row and column numbers we have to write as 1 and 2. Similarly, stiffness matrix for element number 2, that is K2, the equation remains same, only A2, E2, L2. It means what are all the values related to element number 2 that we have to substitute there. A2 400 mm square, E2 105 into 10 to the power of 3, L2 length of the element 2, that is 90 millimeters. All we can find there in the diagram. This stiffness matrix again, in this stiffness matrix I have taken 10 to the power of 5 common because it should be same, and remaining value 4.67667 that I have multiplied inside, that is K2. Here row and column numbers I have given as 2 and 3 because for element number 2, see here in the diagram, for element number 2 nodes are 2 and 3. That's why column and row numbers are 2 and 3 in K2. Similarly K3 also. Here row and column numbers are 3 and 4 because for element number 3 nodes are 3 and 4. Now next step, global stiffness matrix. It is a stiffness matrix for entire element. This we will get by adding all 3 stiffness matrix K1, K2, K3. For adding, we have to follow a particular procedure. So here, this is the global stiffness matrix that after finding this one. So how to find this one? There is a procedure. I will explain that. First, what I will do, I will write a blank stiffness matrix, a blank matrices, and I will give the number, row and column numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there are 4 nodes, the size of the global stiffness matrix will be 4 cross 4. That's why I have written there 4 cross 4 blank matrix. And how to fill the values inside? There is a procedure that we have to follow. See there, in the place of column 1 and row 1, that I have shown by writing a small square box, and I have shown the arrow marks there. That is the place for column 1 and row 1. In that place, what value I have to write? See, in the stiffness matrix we will come to know, I have written there 7.875. How it comes? That we will come to know by looking at remaining stiffness matrices. Say in K1, in stiffness matrix 1, in the place of column 1, row 1, the value is 7.875. That's why in the global stiffness matrix also, in the place of column 1 and row 1, I have written there 7.875. Similarly, in the place of column 2, row 1, the value is minus 875. That we can find there in stiffness matrix K1. See there, in place of column 2 and row 1. Next, column 3, row 1. That place, that value, we won't find in any of the stiffness matrix K1, K2, K3. That's why I have written as 0. Similarly, column 4 and row 1. There is also, we are not finding in all 3 stiffness matrices. So write it as 0. Like this, go on writing. See, in the place of column 2 and row 2, the value I have written as 12.54. Because, see, sometimes in the particular place, there are 2 values we were getting. Look at column 2 and row 2. In K1, the value is 7.875. And in K2 also, there is one more value, column 2 and row 2. In that place, 4.667. So in the same place, that is column 2 and row 2, in the same place, we are getting 2 values, 7.875 and 4.667. These 2 values has to be added. That's why in the place of column 2 and row 2, I have written as 12.542. Similarly, in place of column 3 and row 3, again we are getting as two values there. One is we can find in K2, that is column 3 row 3 as 4.667, and in K3 in the place of column 3 and row 3 the value is 5.714. So two values, add these two values, we get as the value 10.381 in the place of column 3 row 3. Like this, go on writing all the values to get the global stiffness matrix. Next step, step number 4, global displacement vector, Q equal to Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And step number 5, global force vector, F equal to F1, F2, F3, F4. F1 is 0, F2 20 kilonewton, F3 10 kilonewton, F4 0. These values I have explained. How these values we are getting, that I have explained in the first step only. And looking at the diagram. Next step, step number 6, equilibrium equation. The equation is K Q equal to F. K global stiffness matrix, Q displacement vector that we can found in step number 4, and F equal to force vector that we found in step number 5. Write down all the values here. See, after writing we will get the equation like this. Next step, applying the step number 7, applying boundary conditions. This problem we are solving by elimination approach. So we have to eliminate particular row and column numbers. Which row, which column we have to eliminate? That is the question. That we should know that wherever the displacement is known for us, it means at what particular node the displacement is known, that particular row and column number have to be eliminated. Looking at the diagram, see here at extreme left side, it means node 1 is completely fixed. Here there will be no displacement. It means Q1 equal to 0. Similarly, extreme right side, that is node number 4, Q4, there is also 0, because since it is fixed, displacement will be 0. Q4 is 0. We came to know that at node number 1 and at node number 4, displacement are known for us. It means both the values are 0. Hence, eliminate row 1, column 1, row 4, column 4. Because we know that we have to eliminate wherever the displacement is known for us. See here. Here I have eliminated column 1, row 1 and column 4, row 4. After eliminating, write down the remaining values. Here I have written there. Remaining values. This matrix I will write in the form of equations and solve those equations. Values we are getting as, we will get value of Q2 and Q3. Q2 I am getting as 0.02345, Q3 0.02017 millimeters, and Q1, Q4 we know that both the values are 0. Next step, finding the reactions. Equation for this is R equal to K Q minus F. R means reactions, K is global stiffness matrix, Q displacement vector minus F. F means force vector. Substitute all the values. After substituting, we get the equation like this. First, multiply K and Q matrices. Whatever the answer we are getting, that I will subtract with force vector. Finally, we will get the values as R1 equal to minus 18466.87 Newton, R2 0, R3 0, R4 minus 11525 minus 11525.13 Newton. And how to find the stresses in each element? Step number 9, finding the stresses. Equation for that is sigma equal to E upon L minus 1 1 Q1 Q2. For element number 1, sigma 1 equal to E1 upon L1 minus 1 1 Q1 Q2. Q1 Q2, because for element number 1 the nodes are 1 and 2, that's why Q1 Q2. Substitute all the values E, L and Q1 Q2. Calculate this one. Sigma 1 equal to 20.518 megapascal. Similarly, sigma 2 E2 upon L2 minus 1 Q2 Q3, because nodes for element number 2 are 2 and 3, that's why I have taken as Q2 Q3. Similarly, for element number 3, sigma 3 equal to E3 upon L3 minus 1 Q3 Q4. For element number 3, nodes are 3 and 4, that's why I have taken as Q3 Q4. Calculate this one. Sigma 3 we are getting as minus 57.62 megapascal. In this way, we have to solve the problem on one-dimensional bar elements. Thank you.